So in this video, I'm going to walk you through how to find your audience and your argument for practice essay 2 and research essay 2. So the first thing you need to do is determine which prompt you're going to choose for both of these essays. And you can watch this video maybe the first time and just do it for practice essay 2 and then maybe watch it again for research essay 2. You don't have to do both papers as you go through this video. So for practice essay 2, you can find the prompts on page 11 in the syllabus, and you're being asked to choose between if you could ban anything in the world, what would it be? Is physical competition good for children under 12 years old? Or are family traditions important or overrated? And then for research essay 2, you have the prompt on page 13 in the syllabus, and you're being asked to identify the one issue that you believe contributes most to students' failure in academia, or to give a piece of high school or college students a piece of advice, or to choose between one of the above learning strategies and defend why that learning strategy is the best one to promote learning. So go ahead and pause the video and choose which prompt you want to write on. So once you've chosen your prompt, I need to stop and give you some terminology for us to use about arguments. So the first is to understand what a claim is. A claim is a statement or assertion that something is true. All right. It's not a fact, though. It's something that's debatable. So think for a minute. Let's go back to Galileo's time. And Galileo was making the statement that the Earth revolved around the sun. At the time, this was considered a claim because it wasn't a fact yet. There were people who argued with Galileo and said, no, the sun revolves around the Earth. That's not true. Fast forward a few hundred years, we now know that the Earth does revolve around the sun. There's no one out there disputing this. So this claim has moved from the area of being an unproven fact to a fact. Now, in argumentation, realize that sometimes claims will never become facts, especially in the areas of values and belief. If I were to say, I believe in God, there's always going to be someone out there who says that God doesn't exist and who's going to disprove that claim of my statement, God is real. So realize that that is the case. Now, what this means for argumentation is that controversial topics are going to be made up of claims. And the more complex the topic, the more claims will be made by all sides. So if we were to take the topic of abortion, here are some common claims that are made about abortion. Abortion is murder because it takes an innocent life. We also hear abortion is an effective means of birth control. We hear abortion is not murder until the fetus's life is viable outside of the womb. So each three of these statements are claims about the topic of abortion. Now, we need to understand that a claim is the basis of every argumentative or persuasive essay because it's the basis of your position. It's kind of like the working thesis for your paper. Now, every claim is going to have reasons to support it, and these reasons are the evidence in your paper that state why you believe your claim is true. So if we look at this statement, abortion is murder, right there is my claim. Because it takes an innocent life and should be illegal, both of these are reasons that explain why I believe abortion is murder. So my reasons explain why my claim is true. So it takes an innocent life and should be illegal. Now, sometimes when we're dealing with controversial topics, we need to go even a step further and explain our warrants. So a warrant is basically the idea that's explains why a reason or piece of evidence should be considered true. All right, warrants can often be thought of as values, okay? If I didn't believe that taking an innocent life was wrong, if I was okay with that, it wouldn't make sense to me why you're saying because it takes an innocent life, why that makes abortion murder. So I have to understand that taking innocent life is wrong before I can agree with the claim that abortion is murder. So understanding these warrants is very important, especially when you're addressing audiences who have very different backgrounds or beliefs or values from your own. So when writing your papers, keep this in mind that your audience isn't always going to have the exact same warrants as you. So I want us to go back to the topic a little bit. So you chose your topic from the ones provided in the syllabus right here. What I want you to do is put that topic on a piece of paper, maybe circle it, and then list out all the different claims you have heard about this topic. Now, you may have to do some research to get a real rounded view of all the different claims that are out there, but do the best you can with this video. And then once you've done that, what I want you to do is focus in on a claim that you want to defend in your paper. Now, in both of your papers, Research Essay 2, Practice Essay 2, I want you to just focus on one claim to support, okay? So, for example, maybe my claim would be abortion is murder because it takes an innocent life. That means that's the only claim I'm going to address. I'm not going to address the claim that abortion is an effective means of birth control in my paper. So with the limited amount of space you are given in both of these papers, it's really important to narrow down your topic and make it manageable. And focusing in on one claim is an effective way to do that. So now that you've found your position and you found your claim, go ahead and write out what I call the thesis statement. So the thesis statement will act as the working thesis for your paper, especially for practice essay number 2. And the thesis statement goes like this: I think, give your position on the topic, because, and then list out 3 reasons for this position. So go ahead and pause this video and write your claim statement. All right, so now that you have your position and your claim statement, you need to think a little more about your audience. So the reason it's important to consider audience for an argumentative essay is that different audiences have different preferences for evidence and will be persuaded by different types of arguments. So understanding that ahead of time can help you guide your research and guide your whole writing process. So consider these questions just for yourself. Who is interested in your topic? What does your audience already know about this issue? Who is affected by the topic? Who will be the winner? Who will be the loser? What will be gained? What will be lost? Okay. Who do you want to convince that your topic is true? Why do people oppose your claim? And you can find out more about audience in Chapter 2 of our textbook. So go ahead and pause the video and answer these questions for yourself. So we've talked about claims, we've talked about audience. Now I want to put the 2 ideas together. So for every topic that you have, there are claims that are made about it. And what usually happens is these various claims are kind of grouped into 2 camps, those who are for the issue or those who are against the issue. All right, so we kind of always reduce issues down to simplified versions of it, us versus them, or for or against. However, a lot of times with complex issues, there can be more than just an extreme for position or extreme against position. There can be positions all along a continuum, and sometimes that's a lot more healthy of a way to think of controversial topics as a continuum rather than as just against or just for. So what I want you to do is to take all of the claims that you made for in this diagram that you wrote out, and I want you to place them on a continuum. How for the issue is this claim? How against the issue is this claim? And maybe somewhere in the middle. Then I want you to identify where your claim is in this continuum. And then I want you to decide, who is your audience? Where are they on this continuum? A lot of times when we think of argumentative writing, we think we have to address the person on the complete opposite side of us. However, that can often be very difficult because they may have very different warrants than us and just very different backgrounds. Sometimes it can be more effective if you're on one of the extreme positions to just address someone in the middle and pull them more over toward your side. Or if you're in the middle position, maybe consider just addressing one side and making that your target audience. So I want you to pause the video and complete this activity. All right, now that we've finished talking about audience and argument, I want to go over how to outline your essay real quickly. So realize you'll have your cover page, your abstract, and your introduction. And you need to use one of the introduction approaches mentioned in Chapter 6 of our textbook. Of course, you need to have your thesis and plan of development. One additional thing that you should consider for this introduction is that you need to give some context for the controversy around your topic. So as a reader, I need to immediately be able to identify what the issue is, what is controversial about it, what your position is on this issue, and maybe any main claim that you are going to be making about this controversy. From there, you'll give the 3 reasons in your paper for why you have this position and why you support your claim is true. So that relates back to what was said here. Now, your body paragraphs, they need to have the transitions that we've been talking about between the paragraphs and with the ideas in your paragraphs. You need to be able to write a paragraph that has a clear topic sense and is focused on one idea. And in Research Essay 2, you must acknowledge at least one objection from your opposition and refute it. So for more information on how to do that, you can watch the How to Incorporate Your Opposition video. You can also watch the meal plan video, which can help you with your body paragraphs. And then lastly, of course, you have your conclusion. So remember to do not introduce new ideas with the conclusion, restate your thesis, summarize the main points of your paper, and restate the purpose for your argument. What you can add to that too for argumentation is make sure to restate your position and your main claim and possibly any warrants if you think that would be useful in your conclusion. And you can find a video, How to Write Your Conclusion, has a lot of good resources and a template for you to use. If you need help with the abstract, there is a PowerPoint slides that you can view for how to write an abstract. Now, this is only for those who are going to who are watching this video to write Practice Essay 2. What you should do to outline your paper is look back at your claim statement and focus on the 3 reasons that you listed. And these 3 reasons will then be the different sections of your paper. So your first reason would be here, your second here, and your third here. And of course, you don't specifically always have to have your reason be just one body paragraph. Sometimes you may need more than one paragraph to address each of these reasons or one of them. So keep that in mind for Research Essay 2, that you can go over one paragraph if needed. All right, so for Practice Essay 2, make sure that you have evidence to support each of your reasons. So that's where your research comes into play. If you discover better reasons while doing your research, it's okay to replace one of those reasons with what you originally gave in your reason statement or claim statement of, I think, give your position on topic because blank, blank, blank. All right, so that's just a quick overview of how to deal with audience in argumentation in Practice Essay 2 and Research Essay.